And welcome, race fans, to another exciting race today at Talladega. Today we have quite the skeptical today. We have a huge race tonight. I believe this is the likes of Roughneck Racing, a little bit of a partnership with PGR to host a big next-gen Talladega race. However, this is going to be an interesting one. We're going to have two heat races before this to determine the placement of the main event. We are currently running around the grid right now, going through the back straightaway. Kevin, how are you feeling today?
Yeah, I'm feeling good, and man, I love these heat races. I'm not huge on qualifying when I'm in the cars, so these heat races are a great way for those drivers to get themselves in the front if they need to, and just get a little bit of practice in before the feature. Let's take a look at our grid for tonight, though. On the pole, we have Malik Ray, and front row is going to be him and Daniel Falkingham. In the second row, we're going to have Heath Job and Nathan Harper. Third row is going to be taken by Ethan Eckert and Cody Niegels. Fourth row is going to be Daniel Everhart and Kyler Wynn. Fifth row is going to be taken by Aubrey Thompson and Joey Masowicz. And then in 11th, 12th, and 13th, we're going to have Vondell, Hastings, and Tice. And then rounding us out, we're going to have David Colleton, Nash Brambilla, and Ambrose Canavel.
It looks like the pace car is going to come in here. We're ready to get her rolling on our first heat race of the night.
Yeah, once again, this is heat race 1 of 2. This is going to be the first half of the field, and the control is going to be taken by the one car of Malik Ray as we go towards our Geico restart zone.
Green flag, green flag.
We have received word the green flag is out, and they are mobile on the start.
They are going up through the gears, 2x2 all the way through. It is a 16-car race so far. 10-lap races on these heat races. Got to make something happen fast if you want to get a win in these. Not necessary, but I'm sure they wouldn't be upset to see a win. I think there is a little bit of money in the heat wins.
You would be correct there, Kevin. I do believe it is $25 for the heat winner here on top of their starting position in the heat race. And we are already 3 wide here.
Yeah, and Kyler Wynn making that bottom work with the yellow and red card. There's about 3 of them. I know his teammate Malik is going to be down there too, as well as Daniel Falkingham, who I would like to point out had a good race at Daytona the other day in the eNASCAR series. Unfortunate last lap, but I mean, he looked fast and he looked good. As well as Malik Ray. I think he got P3. And making Chris, the heat winners are going to get 25 each. So yeah, a little incentive, but really just looking forward to that feature here. They're about single file all the way down the back stretch with Kyler Wynn out front.
Now, Kevin, we have this talk every single race. The schemes. Anything you're seeing out here, anything catching your eye. I know it's still early, it's only the first heat race, but any particular schemes out here that are catching your eye today?
Yeah, and usually I'm a sucker for the unique schemes, the creative schemes. But, I am a Joey Logano fan, and that Kyler Wynn car is catching my eye as he's representing our last year's Cup champ.
We got a back group kind of straying off back there. It's going to be the likes of Mark Vondell, Ambrose Knievel, and Sterling Theus.
Yeah, and you know what happens. They went 3 wide early, and
speaking of 3 wide, they're starting that third line up again. It's going to be Malik Ray leading them down the back straightaway on that third line. They got some catching up to do, though.
Yeah, and they're about settled back to 2 as Cody Niegels is going to take a lead on that inside line. And man, it feels like we are a broken record these past few nights on Cody Niegels. We have been mentioning him dozens of times each race as he just keeps leading laps and keeps showing why he deserves to be in these things.
As much as we do hate to sound like broken records, at the same time, it is very nice to see the same driver repeating the same kind of good formulas that have been working for him these last couple races. We'll be seeing him to execute these here later tonight when we get to the main event. That outline's going to start getting some movement here. That inside line's going to kind of fade off just a few cars here.
Yeah, and our biggest mover of the night so far is, it's not much. I think it's going to be, 6 positions, 5 positions in the likes of the 64 car of Joey Masowicz. I probably am saying that wrong, and I apologize. But we are coming to 6 to go. We're 2 by 2 all the way through. The inside line is going to be led by, I think, Falkingham, and the outside line is going to be taken by the teammates Kyler Wynn and Malik Ray.
Inside line's going to have to tighten it up here if they're going to want a shot here.
Yeah, Ethan Eckert giving great pushes to Falkingham, but
Boy,
as far as the rest of the cars go, they are pretty loose. Cody Neagles can't decide where he wants to go. Just testing some things out with 6 to go. And Eckert's going to get stranded on the bottom. And Falkingham's going to lead this one with 6 to go, followed by Kyler Wynn, Malik Ray, and Joey Mazowicz. Now we're at 5 to go. Still single file through the leaders, keeping it straight, keeping it clean. They know what they need to do. Just get to the end laps, keep up there. But how about the run on the inside, led by Cody Neagles and Ethan Eckert to follow? They're getting something going. They're getting something working. We're side by side.
Go ahead, Kevin.
I was just gonna say, this lead pack is now down to about 8 cars, and it's not unexpected in these heat races. People make some risky moves. We only have 10 laps. They are going to get stranded out. They're probably going to lose some time. The second line does have about as many cars, though, so you wonder if they're going to get in some drafts, keep a single file, see if they can get themselves back up there. And if so, are they going to be able to be successful with that?
It's tough to say here, but as much as I always like to say we still got a long time left in this race, these heat races are flying by. We only have, 4 laps left to go here. Seems like as quick as this one started, it's already almost over, and it's going to be Daniel Falkingham taking the lead here, followed by Kyler Wynn, Malik Ray, and Daniel Everhart. A couple familiar names on the clock here, Kevin. I know we got quite a few familiar faces here from our previous races, and I know our previous broadcast at MMS, but also some new faces out here that we are not used to broadcasting. I don't want to spoil it too much, but a lot of really talented drivers here. Anybody out here catching your eye early?
Yeah, he had a great qualifying. He's had some unfortunate events so far in this heat race, but I do want to keep an eye on the 760 of Heath Job. He looks fast in a lot of these races. I've seen a few of the races he's been in, and on top of that, I'm pretty sure he does some pretty good-looking graphics on a few of the cars out here. So he's in P14 right now. A little bit of unfortunate events, but I'm sure he'll sort it out. He'll come back even stronger in the feature.
Kind of back in that backpack, we see that almost 4 seconds back. Unfortunate, but doesn't look like they're going to get much in terms of placement here going into this final race. Oh, we have a car in the wall!
Ooh, car into the wall, and that's going to be the 60 of Culleton and the 69
Mark Bondell.
Of Bondell involved.
Oh,
59.
Just gets hooked here. And not what you like to see. Good job by the other drivers to avoid that. Very unfortunate. We're going to jump back live here.
Yeah, we stayed green through it. It was just a 2-car incident. Everyone else was able to get around it. The leaders were out in front of it, so it's not really going to affect them. But that second pack had to, swerve a little bit. They're now 5 seconds back. I think they're going in the wrong direction. And, it's hard. We have some of the best drivers we've seen up in this top 5, top 6. And, it's hard. It'd be near impossible keeping up with them on a draft line. And, catching them is another story.
Couldn't agree with you more here, Kevin. We have some very respectable drivers out here. Daniel Falkingham. We have Malik Ray, and I believe we have another one in here. Who else? That's for the second heat. We're not gonna release all the names just yet, but in this first group, we have some very, very strong drivers thus far. So far, though, your number 1, 2, and 4 in I rating are currently in your top 3. It's going to be Daniel Falkingham, Malik Ray, and Kyler Wynn. Cody Neagles is the only one that slides into that P3 spot in terms of I rating.
Yeah, and we're on the white flag now. We have 1 to go. It came fast and it went fast. The inside line is trying to get something going, followed by Eckert, but that top line is looking fast. And we're going to see Eberhardt try to make a third line now. That top line is about 4 wide, but he's going to get into Ray a little bit, try to knock him up a little bit. He's stranded. Nowhere to go. The inside's looking alright with the 12 and the 6, but they just don't have as much help. But here comes the drops. It's going to be led by Kyler Wynn. Malik Ray is going to come down. They're going to strand Falkingham a little bit. They're now 4 on the bottom, 2 on the top. The 22 is looking good. A huge push by the 12 of Ethan Eckert and Kyler Wynn is single file up front as we're going into the tri-oval. Eckert tries to make a look up top. Wynn tries to make a look up top. Malik Ray tries to make a look up top. They're 3 wide behind Kyler Wynn, who's going to win this heat race. And it was a great finish. They were
We see
gunning
some
for that second place
extracurricular,
behind him.
little extracurricular activities going on after the start finish there.
Yeah, and you love to see it. I mean, I'm all for, hooking hard right after the crossing the checkered. But what a win for Kyler. What a showing. I mean, he was up front all race. He was leading laps. Him, Malik Ray, Daniel Falkingham, all work making that outside line work. And then when it came down to it in that back lap, it was dog eat dog, and Kyler Wynn's gonna come out front.
And man, oh man, what an exciting first heat race we saw here today. You know, it really gets me excited for what we're going to see in this second heat race. And God, if our first heat race is going to be anything, or if our main event is going to be anything like these heat races have been, I'm very excited. I don't know about you, Kevin, but let's go and take a look at the official results for this first heat race here. It's going to be Kyler Wynn getting the first place here, followed by is that Ethan Eckert, Malik Ray, Daniel Falkingham, Cody Neagles in your top 5. But we are getting ready to. We are getting this second heat race set up. Kevin, any thoughts after this first heat race? I know you were pretty excited going into this one.
Yeah, I mean, it was everything we could have asked for. We stayed green all 10 laps, but it wasn't due to lack of excitement. We saw some 3 wide racing early, and then we saw some 3 wide racing again near the end. You love to see it, but I think Kyler Wynn's the name to look for in this in the main event tonight, because he is looking hot out there.
I'm going to have to agree with you after a dominant performance like that, staying up there with those big names, especially not even, despite being quite a bit back in I ratings, still getting the job done here. Just love to see it happening early.
Yeah, and he knows what he's doing. He's been around for a while. Him and Malik run together a lot, and they showed that practice tonight, both of them, as well as Falkingham, just making that top work. And that's going to do it for our first heat race. Our second one is getting underway as we speak. And I'm looking at this grid on it. Look, and I'm not going to lie to you, I might be even more excited for this one, as we have a lot of good racers, including the boss man starting P5.
And look at that, we got some big names coming up here in our second heat race of the night. Just chills going into this one. I'm very excited going into this heat race.
Yeah, I am too. And let's take a look at the grid for the second heat race as they go around the turns behind the pace car.
It's actually not going to show it correctly there, but it's not going to show it correctly, unfortunately. But I'll go and read it off to you here.
I'll take it away for you.
Go ahead.
We got on the pole. We have Joshua McCullough and Dawson Wise taking the front row with them, and behind them we have Matthew Baker and Garrett Maines. Look for them to work together. Third row, we're going to see James Wagner and Kenny Reel. Fourth row is going to be Freddie Bassanez and Chris Melton. Fifth row is going to be Sean Corbett and Josh Giambroni. Sixth row going to be Kenneth McCullough and Michael Wingo. Seventh is going to be Daniel Lolis and Ross Tate. And then rounding it out, we're going to have Dylan C. Jones. So a lot of the guys running in the MMS that we've been broadcasting is going to be out here tonight. And I know for a fact we have at least half of these drivers. They'd only be happy with a win here in this heat race. So, look, what do you got to do to, in just 10 laps, get yourself in that position?
In my opinion, starting it off early, it's all about how you take this restart. If you don't have a good start off the jump here, you're just going to fade back, lie off into that backpack that we saw last race. I think it's half about the start here and half about avoiding those early contacts. And we saw a lot of contact by those early drivers. But I guess it's up to anyone's debate here as we get ready to go across the Geico restart for heat race number 2.
And here we go, the pace car is in, and it is going to be the command of Joshua McCullough in the 8 car, as he's going to be on the inside. And they are 2 by 2, they are stacked up, and we are in the Geico restart zone. It is whenever he wants, and he is going up through the gears. We are green here at Talladega. A good jump for that outside line led by Dawson Wise. Not often you see the outside line get clear by 1, maybe even 2 here coming out of the first turn. But a lot of 2x2 race, and everyone's just maintaining right now. The 5 of Baker takes a peek at the inside or the outside, stays on the inside. Many of them settle to the outside. The inside is now led by the 8 of McCullough, but a few of them drop, and our leader is going to be Dawson Wise for now.
Oh, it's gonna be McCullough dipping below the yellow there.
And Kenny Real gets turned.
Out.
Kenny Real into the wall. I saw it come in. He tried to throw, I wouldn't say a block, but he tried to, put himself on that outside line, and a few of them collected. It's going to be Kenny Real, Josh Giambroni, Tate's fading. I don't know if he got collected there at the very end, but unfortunate. He goes to that outside. He gets hooked inside and then right back out. And they're miraculously able to sort it out beyond that.
Josh Giambrone, though, going to receive the back end of that one. He's going to be stranded out there. He's going to be fading off that pack and be almost 5 seconds back. He's likely to have seen a little bit of damage there. Yeah, look at that on the front end. That is not what you like to see early into this heat race.
Yeah, and McCullough is going to be in our lead once again. It's going to be followed by Baker, Melton, Freddie Bassinez, and the other McCullough. You know what they're going to do if they get next to each other.
A little bit of shakeage and bakeage, I think, trying to get themselves an early win here in this second heat race, try to set them up for success going into this main event.
Yeah, we're on 8 to go, 2 laps in. We've already seen 2 cars that are, more than likely out of it. Unfortunate for Giambroni and Kenny Real, but our leaders are still looking fast, as I think that's Bassinez is going to take a launch at the inside, and he's going to get some serious speed out of it as he's being pushed by the 03 of
Kenny McCullough Jr.
But that outside line just has the numbers, and there's really nothing the inside's going to be able to do. That's a huge run on that outside line, followed by the other McCullough. Garrett Main's back there. We're going to get another look at the inside. I think that's going to be the 011 of Jones. They now have 3 cars. It's still not looking promising, but I think they're going to try to commit to it and see what they can make happen. And I've lied, actually, because one of them, I think it's Kenny's going to take a look back up, try to get in that top line's draft.
It's going to be Joshua up front, actually. It's going to be Kenny back here in the back. We're going to hop on board here with Kenny McCullough. He had a pretty nice night the other day. Hoping he gets a good finish, or at least he's hoping to get a good finish out here in this heat race to set himself up for that main event going on here.
Yeah, he took a line. He took a look at that outside line. He just lost some speed getting up there. It's 2 lanes to get up there. He lost some speed, making the transfer up, and he might have lost this draft here. It's not looking good for him. He's down to 181 miles an hour in these next-gen cars. So that's not a great look for him, but regardless of what happens, I think he's running about P8, P9, so, and him and James now found some draft together, so they're about 2.5 seconds back.
Might make something work to catch that main group again. Just maybe.
And we do have, Ps 8 through 13 on that second line. That's about 5 cars, but I don't know if they're going to be able to catch these leaders. These leaders are fast. They are holding their lines on the outside right now. Other than the 11 car of Jones, he's on the inside. He's going to fall back to the back of that front pack. We're now 6 to go, led by Joshua McCullough, Matthew Baker to follow, Chris Melton next, Garrett Maines, then Freddie Bassinez. That's your top 5 as of right now. Little under halfway into this race, Luke. Who are you looking at here?
It's tough to say, but I sound like a broken record every single night. It's tough to say, but honestly, after the last couple nights' performances, it's hard not to have my money on the McCulloughs. They have the support around them from the other drivers, and I know they have the ability to get what needs to be done. I hope they get a good finish here in this heat race. I'm going to say my money's on Joshua McCullough, Kevin. How about you?
Yeah, I agree, but I do want to pay attention to the Ps 2 and 4 of Matthew Baker and Garrett Maines. I know they work together. I'm not quite positive if they're teammates, but I know they've been racing together for a long time. And, if something decided to happen, another line broke out, I'm sure they would go with each other, and I'm sure that would be the line to beat, because they have a lot of experience in these super speedway races.
As we round turn number 4 and come across the start finish, it's going to be 4 to go. Joshua McCullough still leading us off here, followed by Matthew Baker and Chris Melton.
Go ahead and take a look at the map. Tate's about 16 seconds back. He's lost draft. Giambroni and Real are obviously done. McCullough, though, has fallen completely to the back of those either of those front 2 groups. So he's running P12, but still in the draft of longtime friend James Wagner. We have 4 to go here, led by Josh. I can see it getting exciting, and I can see it getting exciting soon, Luke.
I'd have to agree with you, Kevin. People are going to start getting testy here. They're going to want those higher positions going into this main event race. Boy, am I excited for the finish we're going to see here in 4 laps.
Yeah, and how about P3? I know Chris Melton has no shortage of experience in these races. He knows what he's doing as well. He's giving good pushes to Baker right now. I think he could be a car to look at too if he wants to, make a little move happen with 3 to go now.
You know, it really is still anybody's race here. It's these heat races, you never know what to expect. And sorry, we're getting a read here. Josh Giambroni has crashed. Looks like maybe a little bit of faulty here. We'll have to see what happened. Go back just a little bit. Oh,
Yeah,
man.
and he was about out of this race anyways.
Jump
I
to the
think we're
pits.
we're just gonna take a look at our leaders for the rest of the way through. As we're gonna stay green here. 3 to go, coming up on 2 to go this time by. Still led by McCullough. Everyone's still minding their own.
Yeah, Giambrone's going to head on into the pits after that one. Don't quite know what happened, but seem to have some difficulties here. His night's going to be over.
Yeah, and his night was over after that Kenny Real wreck. He caught the tail end of it, and it was downhill from there. So, hopefully he can jump back into this main race and make something happen and get a little bit more fortunate. But we are now on 2 to go, led by Joshua McCullough. He has led over half these laps, and that outside line's looking fast, but is he going to be able to throw the blocks? As a huge bump by the 52 of Chris Melton into Matthew Baker. That's going to get them right up there to McCullough. The move can happen anytime. It's probably going to be in a turn here, but, we'll see what happens. As we are going into turns 3 and 4 with 2 to go. And they go through the tri-oval, and our white flag is a-waving. It is the final lap right now, led by Joshua McCullough, Matthew Baker, Chris Melton, Garrett Maines, Freddie Batson. That's going to be your top 5. They're all still single file, just looking for the right time to make a move. Who's going to do it? It's going to happen. But right now, McCullough out by about half of a car length on Matthew Baker. He's going to get tight on him. And here
Garrett
comes
Maines.
the inside line.
He's going to get a run
Garrett
here.
Maines. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Baker peel off into that bottom line through the turn if he wants to, but for now, the outside's still looking dominant. That outside's looking to still be led by Joshua McCullough. And how about Melton? He's going to drop. Baker's going to drop.
Oh, no, and
Joshua
McCullough's stranded.
And Baker's in the lead now, pushed by Melton.
Oh, he's going to go for the third line.
They're going to go 3 wide.
Contact.
A little bit of a block thrown by McCullough.
The push.
And the inside line looking good. A great push. It's going to be a race to the line. The outside block, and Baker's going to take this one. Maines in second, Melton third, Bassinez fourth, McCullough fifth. And it was a race there to the finish between the 5 and the 2.
Man, oh man, what a finish to heat race number 2. Just has me so excited for this official race coming up here soon for our main event. So, and boy, oh boy, what a win for Matthew Baker here tonight. Getting some victory shitties in across the back straightaway.
That's going to pay for his lunch tomorrow. And what did I tell you? Baker and Maines, the cars to watch, and they're going to finish P1 and P2 in this heat race.
Man, oh man, this is gonna set us up for quite the main event here in just a few moments. We're gonna go and cut to the starting soon here, and as we get this second race, or as we get this main event ready, they have a 2-minute warm-up, so we'll have a little bit of a siesta here before we get this one underway. Man, oh man, quite an exciting one, Kevin. Any thoughts going into this main event after getting a little bit of a preview in this in these heat races?
Yeah, and we saw Baker and Maines up front there in the heat too, and that's I think that's more importantly than winning that heat race. They've gotten next to each other and they've gotten near the front, so we're gonna see what they're gonna be able to do up front in this second heat race. Kyler and Malik is going to be the other tail of that story. They're going to be up there together as well. Falkingham's going to be up there. There's no lack of respect between any of those drivers, so it's going to be an interesting one up front.
I have to agree with you there, Kevin. It's going to be quite the exciting race here. And you gotta wonder, is the strategy gonna change up a little bit here as we go into this main event here? I know these last 2 heat races have been pretty short, so might have been kind of all for one here, trying to see who can get that spot, get that little bit of extra pay before the main event happens. I feel like we might see maybe a little bit more team racing here tonight in the main event, maybe just a little bit more bump drafting, a little more pushing. But, it's tough to say here before we even jump into the main event grid here.
Yeah, and time and time again we've seen these drivers talk about 50% of the races, just being able to do what you got to do without making mistakes. If that entails, pitting, that's a huge issue for a lot of these drivers, or, just holding in your draft, just stuff like that. I think it's going to be who can make the least amount of mistakes, keep themselves in that front pack, and we have 50 laps of 50% fuel, so we are going to have to see some strategy, so we're going to see how that plays out, but
Looks like the warm-up is going to be concluding here in just a few moments. Looks like they are going to go ahead and prepare to grid here. So we're going to wait here just a moment to receive our grid information here. But just by the looks of it, it looks like it's going to be Malik Ray in P1 and Joshua McCullough in seconds. Do not know if that is accurate. We'll wait until we get the official readings in here. And sorry, no, it's going to be Kyler Wynn getting your pole here on the main race.
yeah, he got the win in that Heat 1, so fortunate for him. See what he can do with the pole in the feature.
And man, oh man, 31 drivers out here tonight. Boy, this is going to be an exciting race.
Yeah, 31 drivers, all the way from Kyler Wynn to David Culleton, but, a lot of these, drivers are, it's about impossible for some of these guys to make mistakes, is what I'm trying to get at, so we're going to see if those guys can stay clean. I know we're going to see some, incidents here tonight, so the name of the game is going to be trying to stay out of those, going with who you know, going with who you trust, but,
I hate to cut you off here, Kevin. I don't know if this is a little faulty reading on our part, possibly in the warm-up session, but I'm seeing a little bit of contact. It appears Cody Neagles had a little bit of contact leaving the pits here. I don't know if that was accurate or if that's previous here. He's going to be starting. Where is he at? He's going to be
P9.
P9. He's going to be P9. As we look at our starting grid here, it's going to be Kyler Wynn leading us off here. He had a very strong performance here in that first heat race, but Matthew Baker following up with that second. Boy.
Yeah, and I'm going to try to rattle off our full grid before we go green here real quick. In the front, we're going to have Kyler Wynn and Matthew Baker. Second row is going to be Ethan Eckert and Garrett Maines. Third row is going to be Malik Ray and Chris Melton. Then Falkingham and Bassinez. Then we're going to have Neagles and Josh McCullough. Then Nathan Harper and Daniel C. Jones. Then we're going to see Eberhardt and Lolis, followed by Joey Masowicz and Michael Wingo. Then we're going to see Aubrey Thompson and Dawson Wise. Then Hunter Hastings and James Wagner. Heath Job, Kenneth McCullough, Sterling Theis, Ross Tate. Then we're going to see Ambrose Knebel, Kenny Reel, Nash Brambilla, Sean Corbett, Mark Vondell, Josh Giambroni, and we're going to round it out with David Coulaton as the pace car is coming in here. It's a 31-car field. Here we go.
Green's out. Green flag. Green flag.
Green flag is out over the Geico restart, and we are off on our main event at Talladega Super Speedway.
Yeah, and they're going up through the gears. It's going to be led by Baker and Wynn side by side through this first turn. And we're already going to see some action on that third line by a couple of these cars. Getting a little ambitious, but Baker, Maines, Wynn, Melton, Eckert currently your top 5. We have 50 laps of madness here at Talladega, and they are all over the track. Everyone is using up every bit of that track, and the leaders are going to do a little switching around as Melton's going to drop to 6. He's going to stay a little safe going that inside. How about Baker out to the lead? He's going up top. He wants up top with Maines and Eckert. Then we're going to see Kyler Wynn wants to get up there. Malik Ray is going to help him out. He was losing speed, and he was losing speed fast, but they're going to figure it out. But that inside line getting some speed led by Falkingham. You know, Neagles can push. There's no denying that. And the number 4 of Harper is also going to get some good pushes.
And look at that. Truly a beautiful sight. Just a huge grid of cars. You love to see it.
And Falkingham now going to take side-by-side on Baker on that inside line, and he's going to get the lead for a second. Followed by Cody Neagles, Harper on that inside line, Bassinas. And how about the outside line? They're going to make it 3 wide already.
There they go.
Here comes Kyler and Malik. And Baker sees it, and he's going to go up top, and he's going to
stop bit of a mean push. He's in the wall.
He gets into the wall a little bit. They get a little loose. Huge push by Kyler, and that's really going to hurt Baker.
Going to slow him down, but it looks like he's going to stay in this one here. He's going to actually kind of fade back. Is anyone going to give him that push?
Everyone's getting around him, and the number 11 is going to be the guy to help him get back up to speed. Kenny Reel.
Not what you like to see early on in this race, and it's going to be, once again, it seems like we say it every single night. It's a repeat. It's going to be Cody Neagles leading us off here.
Yeah, unfortunate for Baker. He's going to drop all the way to 18th, as well as Malik Ray. I think they both got into it. Nobody really benefited from that one. Kyler faded a lot. Malik. Neagles is going to take the lead off of it, though. He's going to be on that outside line, followed by Eckert. That inside line, they're doing some flashing right now, but
not sure if that's our end or the driver's end. We can only hope that's our end. Hoping we don't. I know it's very tough to drive, especially when these cars start blinking in these straightaways.
And how about a third line by Neagles? He has places to be so far in this one.
Nothing to do with that blinking car.
Yeah, and that's going to be Garrett Maines, and he's going to fade a lot. Yeah, so not the start you would have expected from Maines and Baker, but plenty, and I mean plenty of racing to go, as we're not even a tenth of the way through this one. McCullough peaks into the top 10. Kyler now in top 9. Freddie Bassinas side by side with him. Falkingham's going to be your leader in this one right now, though. Yeah, we saw some serious fallout by that outside line, and this single file is now just, you know, crazy ahead.
As we look a little further back here, we're going to be on board Aubrey Thompson here.
Ooh. A little shaky there. Car got a little slow on that second line, but all in all, it was a clean move. Trying to stay in that outside draft, but it's not giving too much as she's going to drop down to the inside now.
Aubrey Thompson looks like racing out of MMS here. I know we are very familiar with most of the drivers over on that end. Oh, it looks like we're going to have contact here. We're going to get a front row seat.
Big wreck. And we have a front row seat in Aubrey Thompson's car. She thankfully clears and doesn't get any damage.
It's like it's going to be Kenny Reels.
What happened there? Kenny Reel, big... Oh, no, it's not. He's going to get the tail end of it, actually.
Oh, no.
Let's see where that one started, though. That one started about 5-10 cars in front of them and just nowhere to go for the 11. And that 5 car, I think that's Baker. I think he's involved. Right up there, right. I want to say we're going to go even more cars up. Try to take a look at maybe the 12 of Ethan Eckert. He was up there in the mix. He got some damage from that one, as well as Malik Ray.
Didn't find him here. And yeah, we're going to go and take a look here at what caused all of that.
He's on that inside line right now. He gives a push to Malik. That outside line has some speed. And I think we're going to have to take a look at a different camera on that one. As our TV3 just misses it.
It appears it's not going to... There we go. All right, let's take a look here. Just gonna be just gonna be a little bit of a push here. It's gonna be the 25 just barely cuts in front of Malik Ray here and just gets turned. Luckily, Malik
Yeah, and
Ray
that
gonna make it out
25
of that
car,
one.
that's going to be Hunter Hastings. He's going to get turned right in front of the field, and we're going to see some damage. Let's take a look at our live and see what transpired from that. As we did waste some time, had some issues, but here come the pits. It's going to be the full field, I'd imagine, but
Maybe some
as
surprises.
far
here
as
early. A little bit of off-roading there, it seems, by one of our cars.
as far as fast repair goes, I'm under the impression that we don't have any, so just unfortunate for a lot of those cars, a lot of those, leaders in the heat races. I know Malik was involved, Eckert was involved, but see if they can get fixed up to any extent and get back out there. As, still 44 laps to go. I wouldn't count anybody out yet, but not looking great for them. Lolita's going to be in the lead. I think he was the sole car staying out here. It's going to be the 56 car of
Maybe Daniel Lois.
Daniel Lolis.
Lolis. Apologies.
And Falkingham's going to win the race off pit road, though. And I'm trying to see. Baker's still in the pits. He's in P20 right now.
Yep, Baker is still in the pits.
Ray's still in the pits. Melton's still in the pits. It's going to be, the name of the game is going to be who can get on that lead lap as the main pack, followed by the pace car is going to be about halfway up the backstretch right now. And we're seeing a lot of them leaving right now. We still have, there goes Malik. We still have about 5 or 6 cars in the pits as the leaders are rounding turns 3 and 4. Luke, we have about 42, 43 laps to go. Do drivers, they see this as twice now that some contact has happened already in this race. Do drivers start playing a little more cautious here? So we're, not under yellow for half this race, or are they gonna keep their foot on the pedal and they're gonna keep doing what they're doing?
It's tough to say this early on into the race, but you have to wonder, with as much money on the line as some of these drivers have put out, it's tough to say here. Personally, I'd be pushing through most of this and just try to get your way up to the front as much as you can, but you never know what's really going on inside the head of these drivers. Sometimes there's some different decisions going on. Maybe one to play it a little bit more conservatively after seeing some of that contact, but I guess only time will tell as we get ready to go to 7 laps out of 50. Still a long way to go in this race.
Yeah, and I'm trying to see who isn't winning off pit road, and I think we just saw Baker peel out. He's gonna get out in front. So good on him. Only 2 cars down a lap. It's gonna be Wise and it's gonna be Tate, but overall, it could have been a lot worse. When you see a wreck like that right in front of the field, they're going 190 miles an hour. It's almost miraculous that they didn't get more damage. But a lot of work to do now for the 11 of Real, the 5 of Baker, the 52 of Mountain. But once again, lots of racing left.
Like most of these cars are going to be playing catch up here. I don't know if we're going to go another one around or if it's going to be going green here.
Yeah, and I'm a little confused about the 56 of Lolis. I thought he stayed out, but he's now dropped down 2 positions on Falkingham and Jones, 4 positions now. So I don't know exactly what happened with him. Maybe he did a little touch and go. I'm not quite sure, but we'll keep an eye on him for you. And let's take a look at our top 10 right now. It's going to be Falkingham in the front and Jones. The second line is going to consist of Lolis and Wynn. Then we're going to see Bassanez and Niels. Then we're going to see McCullough. That's going to be Josh McCullough and Daniel Eberhardt. Then we're going to see Hunter Hastings and Heath Job. It's going to be a strong top 10, and it's going to change a lot. It's going to change a lot fast. So we're just going to see what these drivers can do to keep themselves up there. As we're going through turn 3, I think we're going green this time by, as it was a good caution. Everyone was able to refresh, do what they had to do. Pace car comes below the yellow. It's going to go take a break for now. I'm sure we'll see it again. But the control is going to be given to Daniel Falkingham, so that inside line is going to have the jump. As we are going green with 41 to go. 42 to go here at
Green, green, green.
Talladega
A
Super
little bit of an accordion
Speedway.
effect here. I had to beat you to that one. I know you were going to say it if I didn't. A little bit of an accordion effect off our restart here.
Yeah, and a great jump for Falkingham. He gets the best of that, and he's going to be able to make it to the outside where I'm sure he wanted to be. Regardless, Jones is going to drop to the inside, though. They flip-flop. Bassinez goes down, Kyler stays up, and we're 2 by 2. Going through the turns, going to the backstretch for the first time back since our first caution. And that outside line looking fast. Here comes Eberhardt to get in on the action. Inside line just doesn't have as many cars, and Eagle's trying to make something happen. Maybe a second line, maybe shoot the middle. Malik maybe following. No, Malik's going to go low, and so is Kyler. Eberhardt makes a huge dive. That's going to benefit him as he's going to take the lead in this one. 2 by 2 now with Eberhardt and Falkingham, and here comes that third line. Maybe. As they are going to settle back in. It's it's loose there in the back end. That's not what you like to see. These leaders, they're about 2 by 2. They're just trying to race, but those back guys, everyone wants to be the hero. Everyone wants to make something happen. So that's what you got to really pay attention to on the majority of these wrecks. But yeah, I think we're gonna have some damage on some of these cars that did get out of the pits on the lead lap, unfortunately. You know, you see Baker fading off a little bit. He's about 3 seconds back. But hitting Real now, already 12 seconds back. I don't know if he had a bad jump or if that's just the damage of his car. Unfortunate for him. But for the majority, this pack is tight and this pack is fast. As we are going through the tri-oval, coming on 11 to go, and Falkingham is leading this race.
Bit of a correction here. It is not 11 to go. We are on lap 11 out of 50.
Or
It's
lap
still
11.
a long way to go.
Yeah, I wish it was 11 to go. You know, I like to see that. I like to see that late racing. You know me.
No, I have to agree with you here, Kevin. Man, they are getting tight here on that inside line.
How about Heath Job? He started in 21st. He's made his way up to 7th. That's an impressive performance from him so far, knock on wood. To get a little bit fortunate in that caution and then get his way up to the front pack. He's going to be on the inside line pushing the 6 of Pretty Eagles.
Another big name in the MMS that we've seen recently. Cody Eagles had some recent success in the MMS Money League. I think he's going to place here tonight with among some of these highly class drivers tonight.
Yeah, and you know, I'm rooting for him. He's been nothing but the... He's given us nothing but the utmost respect over in MMS, and we've had the privilege of interviewing him a couple times. So you know, he knows what he's doing. He's a great super speedway driver. He leads these laps. He's able to keep himself in the front. So I can see him making a good run at this one, and I think he'll watch us when back. His father might watch. He was telling us the other day. He's got a fan that watches these streams, and that's his father. So we'll see what he can do. I'm gunning for him, though, Luke.
You know, I have to stay true to our home broadcasting crew here. We're gonna have. I think I'm gonna be on board with you here. I'm gonna be rooting for Cody Eagles as well. Hopefully, gonna be getting it done for MMS tonight.
Yeah, and how about Daniel Eberhardt? He's done great keeping himself in the lead, dropping when he has to, staying up when he has to, but he gets a little loose there for a second. That was a little scary.
An awkward push.
Awkward push from Daniel Falkingham. They're going to lose a little bit of speed on that. And here comes that inside line led by Freddie Bassinez. He's actually going to stay out in the lead. Us. We're 3 wide. A little bit of blinking of Garrett Maines happening again. I want to say that might be on his end, unfortunately, since it's been him the majority of the times. But you know, maybe getting a little bit of sneak factor in if they can't fully see him. But you know, you never know.
Speaking of strong drivers out here, that's another big name to be looking for. Garrett Maines been high rating of almost 8,800. Wow, that is impressive. He is currently our number 1 standing in here in terms of high rating, only second most to Daniel Falkingham, followed by Malik Ray.
Yeah, and I would like to point out, I think I mentioned it in the heat race, but a great race for Malik and Daniel Falkingham. I think it was either yesterday or the day before in the eNASCAR Coca-Cola Daytona. A little bit of a bad break
Oh!
near the end for
And
Buckingham,
speaking
but
of
we have
devil.
wrecking. I'm gonna hold that because we saw a car go down into the infield.
It's Garrett Maines. He's off the
And
track.
that's gonna be Garrett Maines. He gets into the pits, keeps it off the wall. Unfortunate for him, but it could have been a lot worse. As he's still green here in Talladega. Yeah, and looking back on that, I think it's going to be he was stacked up with the 4 and the 42, and they just got a little too tight. And Ethan Ecker's still on the outside, but he's able to avoid that
Just
one.
gets a little sandwich there, it seems, and just gets kind of bumped out.
Yeah, a little awkward push, but good on him for keeping it off the wall, keeping it clean, and we are still green here at Talladega. And back to what I was saying, you know, Falkingham and Malik Ray, they were in that Daytona race. Malik Ray with a good podium finish in third, a little bit of an unfortunate finish. A huge run for Falkingham near the end, but he finishes P14. But, you know, great to see them representing. Great to see them going out there and doing their thing.
Speaking of Daniel Falkingham, he's going to be taking charge here. 16 laps out of 50.
That he is. Eberhard gets a little, he drops a few positions, but he is already finding his way back to the front. He is not afraid to give huge bumps to these leaders. Ethan Eckert right on his tail, and a little awkward with Kyler Wynn. We've seen that a few times, a little bit of a push when not needed. But how about that inside line led by Malik Ray? They're sneaking up, and Kyler Wynn's going to drop in front of his teammate. Yeah, and you know, we still have 34 laps to go in this one. A lot of racing, anything can happen, so I think the name of the game right now is just staying clean. You know, taking the positions one at a time. A lot of these drivers, you know, had a bad break and went towards the back, but and we have wrecking.
Oh!
And that's going to be James Wagner sideways and then up into the wall a little bit, and the 42 is also going to be backwards. And we're going to see what happened there. I think about 3 cars collected.
Oh.
And the 03.
Kenny McCullough. Oh,
yeah,
no.
not what you want to see in a huge collection. That's going to be our second caution of the night. About 5 cars involved in that one, including James Wagner, Kenny McCullough, the 42, Ambrose Kniebel, I think, involved. I want to say the 23 might have gotten some damage out of that one. It's going to be Nash Brambilla, but, yeah, just an unfortunate stack up. Yeah, we're also going to see the 25. I know we talked about him earlier. That's Hunter Hastings. He's going to get some damage. But, yeah, not ideal for a lot of these drivers. That's going to be, you know, another pit. And, you know, we're going to wait and see how that's going to play out. That's going to be caution number 2. Let's take a look at onboard with Ambrose Kniebel, as he had a front row seat in this one and just couldn't quite clear it. A couple cars go down.
Yeah, there's just nowhere to
just
go.
In his face, saying hi to each other, and just gets stuffed up. And that was really the story of that wreck. Just, you know, it was the perfect spot that these cars just had literally nowhere to go.
Unfortunate, but man, that's going to be our second caution of the night here on, I believe that was lap number 17 when that caution happened, or could have been 18. But unfortunate. That's going to lead to a couple of difficult races for some of the drivers out here tonight, but we're going to see quite a few of them get ready to enter the pits here.
Yeah, and you know, with 32 to go, probably about 30 to go when we go green, it's always wise to get the pit in, get the fresh tires, get the cars cleaned up. You know, duct tape when you need, jumping on the hood when you need, just everyone doing what they can to get their cars back in tip-top shape here before we go green again. No time like now.
And so we have someone staying out here. Who is that? It's like it's going to be, I think that's Kenny Reel out there. Making up some time.
And he's a lap down. I think he might get that lucky dog position. I'm not quite sure. Don't quote me on that, but you know,
it's going to be Ray Vassinez winning the drag race out of pit road here.
Yeah, and good race for him, followed by Ethan Eckert. Then the rest of the crew coming. Probably, this is when it happens. This is when the strategies start switching up. Everyone starts doing their own thing. And I would like to point out, James Wagner, out of the pits now. P. I mean, I want to say it said P11 almost. I mean, we did see him. Yeah, P11. We saw him involved in that one. So I don't know if he opted to not get any repairs or what happened there. But
Here's so we're gonna see a little bit of damage on that front right quarter panel there for that rough neck racing, purple and black number 30 by James Wagner.
yeah, and it's a beautiful scheme. I'm a sucker for these purple cars. I always have been. I think purple and green is gonna be my favorite combinations as it takes me back to the monster truck days. But you know, getting a little off track. But I just nice looking scheme for James Wagner.
I have to agree with you on that one, Kevin. You know, I feel like we comment on it every single race. I almost feel like we need to maybe make it a little segment here of our scheme of the evening.
Yeah, and I'm looking around. Dude, I'm not quite sure really. I mean, a lot of great schemes out here. I do like the camo of Everhart. We've seen that a few times. It's flashed. Is Sean Corbett in this race? I haven't talked much about him, but he is in this race. He started P28. He's
Currently in P15 right now.
currently running 15th. Let's
Still
take a look
rocking
at
that
that
fire scheme.
that fire scheme. I mean, I
Same one
couldn't
we saw
stop.
the other night.
I couldn't stop talking about it the other night. So why not continue it? It's not only a great looking scheme, but it's a great looking scheme for us. It's very noticeable, very easy to recognize. So I appreciate that.
Look at
And
the
I
spider
would like
on
to say,
Wingo.
yeah, good looking spider on Wingo. I'm not a huge fan of the car of the number 4. That's gonna be Nathan Harper. A little bit of a Cowboys scheme. Not my forte. Not my choice. But what do you think, Luke? If you what team would you like to see? Any sport, let's say, on one of these cars.
You know, as much as you would like to lean towards football here, I know you know, but I know our viewers may not know. I had quite the career in hockey, so I'd personally like to see some hockey schemes out here. I don't think I've seen a single hockey team on any of these cars. I think that would actually be pretty interesting. But in terms of other sports,
Yeah,
I think it would be
I
kind of
like
cool to see an Eagles tribute Super Bowl car. I think that would be kind of interesting.
I also think that would be cool. I know Harper probably wouldn't like that. A little bit of a division rivalry between the two, but I love seeing those sports schemes. We saw Brad Keselowski last year in the Red Sox scheme.
Loving
When
that
they went up
car.
to New Hampshire. I'm a huge Boston guy. I would love to see a Patriots scheme, a Bruins scheme, a Celtics scheme. Bright green. I think that would look great. But yeah, just representing your team. I do think that's a very interesting thing to do. I like seeing all the different teams and all the different sports. When we do public lobbies or even these league races. So good on Harper. We're still, rounding these laps under caution, Luke. I know another thing I ask you every race. Anybody in particular sticking out to you, or do you want to just, stay quiet and let this thing do its own thing for now?
I would weigh in my opinion a little early here, but only 20 laps out of 50. I think I'm going to at least have to wait until I see at least half of this race before I really make any crazy accurate predictions. But we're going to cut that conversation short with the pace car going in as we get ready to go across the Geico restart here at Talladega Superspeedway.
Yeah, and Freddie Bastinez is going to have the control here. He's on the inside line, Eckert on the outside, and we are going across the tri-oval, and we are green as he's going up through the gears. Crosses that checkered flag. He goes to the top. We've seen that, I think, every restart so far in this race. That leader, going up to the top, making a single file, just getting so much power on one line. It's the smart decision. It's the right decision. But how about Aubrey Thompson making her way up to the P5 position?
It's a name we actually,
impressive.
I believe we hopped on board back there for that first caution. Good to see a name that got caught up in that one making their way back up to these leaders.
Yeah, I think she got right around it. It's gone to show that if you can get around these wrecks, you can put yourself in a good position. She started P17. She's up 12 right now. So, good on her. So we are on board now. Looking at the back at the 44. Yeah. And, it happens as long as they can sort it out and keep it clean. That's why this single file race in here early on is so appreciated.
Oh, we're going to have another yellow out. We got some contact going up in the back end. Oh
I
no.
want to see a couple cars up in the wall now.
It's
Which
gonna be
want to see
Daniel
just
Lolis.
one lap.
Oh no.
Oh, and he gets bumped low, and really nothing you can do. He comes up a huge hit on that wall.
Oh no. Let's
And
go
he's
back a
gonna
little bit and see
collect
what led to
James
that.
Wagner. Unfortunate for him.
4 wide. Oh my. Let's take a look at what happened here.
That's our host tonight. He's gonna be collected. His hood's up. I'm not sure if you can see. They go 4 wide.
Just has nowhere to go. Bumps to 64. A little more contact and just
Pinball
bumper
action, and
cars.
it
Oh.
just got worse from there. Now, is that the 5 of mains that got a little bit of damage from that one? I would assume.
It's gonna be Matthew Baker, actually.
Baker, Matthew Baker. Yeah, he had the issues earlier on. He got in that single car accident where he was stuffed up a little bit. Or no, that was
for
mains.
Daniel Lolis.
My apologies. But yeah, Baker's had a unfortunate run so far, and his day just got a little bit worse. I don't know how bad the damage is. We're gonna have to wait and see. But that's gonna be our 3rd caution of the night. That's with no fast repairs. I think it's about, suffice to say that that's gonna be the end of the day for the 56. So unfortunate for Daniel Lolis, but yeah, I'd assume we're gonna see a lot of staying out here, as just less than a lap ago we saw the pits. So, I was talking about that strategy, Luke. This mixes things up. Um, you know, anytime there's 2 cautions right back to back, it really it can benefit those who didn't take full pits, or maybe took a little less fuel to get some positions, or even stayed out. I'm not sure if we had anybody staying out, but it's definitely gonna shake things up, Luke. What are you looking at here with this 3rd caution, 3rd pit coming in?
And seeing a lot of these cars going in here, you gotta wonder. Oh, and it looks like we are gonna see a car, maybe a second. Yep, staying out here. Quite a few actually staying out here. It's gonna start getting shifty here with cars trying to change up their pit strategies and their fuel economy saving, especially with that those back-to-back cautions here. It's really tough to say what's going through these drivers' heads and what their strategies might be going through this, but you just gotta wonder, are some of these cars that got into that contact, such as James Wagner or
I think
Daniel
Bassinas
Lolis,
is going to get the win off the pit road right there. I'm not quite sure. Sorry to cut you off, but just looking at that pit exit.
It's going to be Michael Wingo, actually, currently still in the lead here, but it is going to be
Yeah,
Freddie
Wingo's
Bassinas
straight
leading
out.
that drag race off of pit road.
Yeah, so impressive for him. He's had a good run tonight. He stayed out of it, staying up in the front. Usually does that for you, but I think what you got to look at here now with another pit just happening so fast is, this is a great opportunity for a lot of these guys to get back with their teams. So, group back up, find who you want. Some of these cars are gonna stay. I think 5 cars stayed out, 4 cars maybe, but that could even be a team itself. I'm not quite sure, but other than that, our race off of pit road is gonna be Bassinez, Eckert, Wynn, Ray, Thompson. I think we're going to see a little bit of strategy from the 03 of McCullough and the 192 of Michael Wingo. So, interesting to see what happens here. But, not what you want to see back-to-back cautions, but it's going to give us some more time to talk about the dumb shit that we do under these cautions. So, we're going to be crossing the halfway point under caution here, Luke. I think it's time for you to make your pick.
Wasn't really expecting it this early. I was hoping after that second caution I'd get a little bit more time to think, but it's tough to say, and it really is hard to not go with any of these high-class drivers out here, such as Malik Ray and Daniel Falkingham. I know they've had some good races in the past, but then some other big names out there. I know we got Cody Neagles, also has had some previous good luck in the MMS League. I've been rooting for him all race. I'd like to stay true with it. He has currently dropped back to P24. I believe that's just because he came out of the pits there, maybe going for a little bit of a late pit strategy, potentially. But my money's going to either be on Cody Neagles or... I'm going to go and lock it now. Cody Neagles or Daniel Falkingham is going to take this one tonight. That's going to be my official pick at the lap 25 mark.
Yeah, and you know me. I don't like picking the favorites. This weekend's Daytona 500, I'll probably be betting on, friggin' Jimmy Johnson or something. I like picking the long shots. So I think the cars that I'm going to be looking at tonight are... He's trailing in the back right now. He's had some problems, but the 90 of Daniel Eberhardt has a fast automobile. So I think he's a good car to look at. Also, I think Hunter Hastings has had a pretty solid run. I know he got into some problems. I don't know if he has any I don't know if he has any damage from that, but he makes for a good show in these races time after time. So I think those are a couple cars I want to look at. Um, James Wagner, yeah, his race is not looking great. You know, we know Wise and Lolis, they're out of it. So
Yeah, he's gonna be deadlocked back here in pit road here. He's had a rough night tonight, unfortunately, in the 30 of James Wagner. Just unfortunate to get caught up in those wrecks here. You want to see the guy hosting these lobbies make it to the end, but it's not looking good for him here as we start to approach the back half of this caution flag here.
yeah, no, I wouldn't be surprised if we see him stay and take his repairs and get his butt back out there because he's just a racing fan through and through. So I don't think he's gonna miss any laps that he could potentially run. But it's really interesting. A lot of these guys that I would have, swore to be top 5 drivers right now are running towards the back. Maines and Baker have had some bad luck in this one. Um, Falkingham running P9, he's had a good run, so I'm not gonna mention him. But Chris Melton, he's running about midfield right now. Daniel Eberhardt running in the back with Neagles. So you know, yeah, it is what it is. Who knows? Only time will tell as pace car comes in, or
Yep, pace car is in.
yeah,
We're getting
pace
ready to
car's
go green.
in. That front car looking a little bit like it. My apologies, but we are going green this time by. And here we go up through the gears. The 192 is going to be in the lead, but that outside line just, darting by. That's going to be Kenny McCullough and Wingo out front. And the outside line led by McCullough, Eckert, and Malik Ray is going to look good, but here comes that inside line. They're making a fight for it. A little bit of swaying on both lines. That outside line!
Boy, some shaky contact pushes up there on that outside
Few
line.
of them trade a little bit of paint with the wall, but they're going to be able to keep it straight, keep it together. What you really got to look for there is the braking. That really hurts the guys in the back. Can't really see it coming, especially with the majority of these guys not having a spotter, but everyone was able to keep it clean, so good on them. But how about the transfer for Freddie Basson as he gets to that outside line where he's dominated a lot of these laps, and he is now in P1. He gets to the front.
Shaky pushes on that inside line. They're going to kind of break up a little bit and give that outside line some room to spread their wings and make a move here. And it's going to be Malik Ray taking that charge of that inside line now, deciding to stay off of that main pack and try to get something going in mid-season.
He finds his teammate, the heat winner Kyler Wynn, so they might have lost a few spots on that, but I'm more than sure that they're not upset with how that went because they're together and they can put some laps up together. But how about Freddie Basson as, just dominant so far. He's being pushed by the 03 of Kenny McCullough. They run together in the MMS as well. Ethan Eckert looking good up there. Daniel Falkingham made it from P9 to P4 already in just under 2 laps. So, good run for him. He knows what he's doing, obviously. And his teammate and family member Joshua McCullough running pretty good as he now peaks into the top 10 for the first time tonight, I think. At least one of the first times tonight. And it's dangerous if they can get together in these races. I'll tell you what, we've seen it multiple times in MMS already. And, just a couple more names to look out for, but Kenny is just fading as he is just stranded on that second line. Joshua getting up to 5th on that, though. They trade spots just about. So that's interesting. Falkingham taking the lead here now as Basson has faced 7. We're going to see Falkingham, Ray, Wynn, Harper, and McCullough your top 5 right now with 22 laps to go here at Talladega, the Roughneck Racing Money Race.
I think we have yet another yellow flag out here. Not sure where that one came from. We're going to have to watch back on that one. Here's going to be Matthew Baker getting into this one early. Let's take a look back at what happened here.
Good to see him getting
Looks like he just gets spun.
Again. Yeah,
he's swap the cameras up here and take a look at what happened.
He's going to collect at least a few more, and that's going to be a quarter of the field on this one. He's being pushed by the one car. And it looks like a clean push. Oh, he gets a little low on him. I don't know if that's where it happens. Still looks like a pretty clean push to me. As you know, this wreck is gonna happen any second now. Oh, and
Oh
Keith
no.
Job, I think that is gonna get into him a little bit. Oh, and I put the curse on him, and
Just gets
Job
forced
goes up
down
a
to that
little.
bottom line,
Baker
unfortunately.
goes down a little,
Oh,
or I want to say a racing incident, but you know, those drivers are gonna talk it out. They've raced together a lot, so unfortunate for them. That's gonna take a lot of cars out of that one. We're seeing the 40. He is he's a roller right now. That is Josh Giambroni had some bad luck in the heat race, and it continues here. But
unfortunate.
yeah, I think we're gonna see even more of a strategy as you know this race is going a little off the hinges here with I think what is that now 4 cautions in the first half of this, or I don't know if it's half, but first chunk of this race at least, and Falkingham in the lead, followed by Ray and Wynn as they're reaching pit lane. As we're gonna see what they're gonna do. They're gonna come down. You know, not surprising. Take it when you can. I don't know how many tires these cars have been given, but it never hurts. You know, it never hurts to take a pit. A lot of strategy can be happening now, though, as we see 2 stay out.
It's gonna be
And that's
David
going to be
Colaton and still
Colaton, and that's going to be Mains, I think. Or
tough to say as of right now. I believe they.
no, that's going to be Wagner, I think. Down laps, just staying out. Maybe seeing if we can get.
It's gonna be someone making up laps here. So
Oh,
it is
I
gonna be
gotcha.
David Colaton gonna be leading us off here, I believe. I don't know if he's gonna be coming into the pits here. He actually started
I want to
off
say
in
it's going to be
P30 on the
Tate.
grid here. It's gonna be his first chance leading of the night tonight.
Yeah, and you know, starting way in the back. Actually, way in the back. He started last. It's a good chance for him to see if he can make something happen. We have a 779 I rating from him, so maybe fairly new to these races. You know, he's got the experience in the back from what we've seen in this race. Now let's see what he can do in the front, as he's going to play a little bit of strategy. But yeah, you know, I think that was Tate making up laps, um, if I'm not mistaken.
You'd be correct in that one, I believe.
But overall, we're going to see Culleton in the lead here with Falkingham winning the race off pits, Ray, Bassinez getting back up there, Harper, McCullough, Wynn, Eckert, Brambilla, who we haven't talked much about this race. He started P27. He's going to be up there, and running at your top 10, it's going to be Chris Melton with probably 18 or 19 to go when we go green.
Man, what an exciting one thus far. Already 4 cautions, and we're just a little bit over halfway through with this race. This one's been quite a mayhem since, well, compared to the other races that we've previously been broadcasting. This one's been quite the exciting one, to say the least.
Yeah, and you know, I would like to point out that every time these pits come by, or these cautions come by, you know, 3 or 4 laps within each other, I sit here and I say, you know, we're going to see some cars stay out, we're going to see some strategy. But the majority, you know, aside from a few cars, the majority of these people have taken pits every single lap. So, or not every single lap, every single caution. So, it's a little surprising to me to see that most of these guys are trusting their decisions and freshening up on these cautions. And I would like to mention while we're under caution, we do have races. I think Saturday and Sunday this weekend. If viewers would like to tune in on Sunday night, we're gonna have trucks at Daytona with CMS Racing League, and that's gonna be an interesting one. That's gonna be our debut with them. I'm excited for that one. What about you, Luke?
I know I'm pretty excited too, Kevin. If I'm not mistaken, is that going to be our longer race of the weekend that we're going to be doing?
I don't think so. I think we have a maybe right now as far as a Saturday night Daytona race, but
We'll keep
if
the
we do end up
details of
doing that one,
keep the details of that one hidden at the moment until we get a little more clarification. But
we'll say if we do that one though, it is going to be a long race. I'm excited for
it will be.
I'm excited for whatever we do end up booking this week. I'd like to thank everyone that's reached out to us. You know, a lot of kind souls out there telling us, you know, what we're doing right, what we can do better, and also a lot of kind souls, you know, with a lot of contacts within the community, helping us out, getting us some bookings, getting us some traction. You know, I'd like to thank the McCullows. I'd like to thank Wagner. They've both been great for the launch of Ninth Gear Broadcasting. So, you know, just hopefully we continue to grow at the rate that we have because it's been fun, Luke. I'll tell you what.
That it has been. I've had definitely had quite a fun run here these last couple weeks, getting to broadcast some of these races here and getting to meet a lot of these very talented drivers in these organizations that we get to watch here every couple nights.
And the fans are on their feet. The pace car is coming in, and we are going to be green this time by with Culleton on the restart, followed by Falkingham on the outside. So here we go, 19 to go. We are going green. They are stacked up. They are ready. That Cowboys car is on the second line. And we are green as we're going up through the gears here at Talladega Superspeedway. And a huge jump for Falkingham. That outside line's looking good. Like I said, we have a little bit of a beginner race on the inside. So hopefully they don't get stacked up too much. Falkingham still in the lead on that outside. McCullough now the lead car on the outside as Falkingham drops in. They're going to look good. Culleton's going to be a little shaky, but he's going to be following Falkingham. But a good run for Garrett Maines and Joshua McCullough on that outside as they're going to get the lead going. And I just actually got word live time that we are going to be booked Saturday, so that's great to hear.
Wonderful.
You know, we're super excited about that. That's going to be a
Terrific.
good race. But for these last 17 laps, I'm going to focus on this one, and
We'll get the announcements and the details of that race after this one.
Yeah, and McCullough's going to be in the lead now. It's a good look for him. And how about his father, Kenny McCullough, up into P6 and gaining.
Shift there by the team, Malik Ray and Kyler Wynn there. Getting that inside line, some traction there. It's going to be Freddie Bassinez leading them off there on that inside line. They're going to try to make something happen.
Yeah, and that outside line just looking fast, but how about the drop for
Kenny
Kenny
McCullough.
McCullough? And a huge push from Freddie Bassinez for him. And this inside line just looking to make something happen here.
Getting going. As we approach 16 to go here in this race. I know we talked about a lot of the schemes, Kevin. Other than some of the ones you've mentioned tonight, any other ones that are kind of sticking out to you here as we go around these next few laps here?
Yeah, you know, I don't know. I'm sure I'm missing a lot of these sponsorships on these cars. But as far as, you know, colors and designs go, I do really like how that 60 car Bassinez is sticking out to us.
Yeah, that car in Bassinez is quite the pretty one here. We'll go and take a look here. Quite the colorful car here. Nice skull on the front. That thing is gorgeous. Very bright, very easy to recognize going down the back straightaways here on Talladega.
Yeah, and how about the McCulloughs? They're in places 1 and 4 right now. Great run for them. I know they run a lot of these and they know what they're doing. And if they can get together, like I said, it's going to be very interesting. We have Falkingham P3, Maines up in the front once again. Good to see him back. How about Eberhard? I told you he was, you know, looking maybe in the middle of the pack coming out of the pit 2 laps ago, but he's made his way back up to the front. He's a very aggressive driver. I know a lot of the other drivers respect him for that, but he'll find his way to the front.
Kenny's going to get the pass here.
And look who's linked up, Luke.
Shocker, shocker. It's going to be the McCulloughs. Kenny and
Kenny's trying
Joshua.
to make a business decision to go to the top. And it appears to be the right one, as that top line is just going to shoot out of a cannon here in the tri-oval. As we approach 14 to go here at Talladega in the Roughnecks Racing Money League. How about Garrett Maines now in the lead? He's side by side with McCullough. Love to see that.
Sideline's going to get a bit of room here.
Yeah, and we see Kenny still in the lead. Jones now back up to the front. Harper back up to the front in that Cowboys scheme. That inside line seemed to have died off a little bit, but Josh McCullough doing everything he can to keep him and Garrett Maines up there. And how about the 23 of Brambilla? Not a scheme that we've been talking about much. It's bright. Good to see him in the front, though.
Oh, yeah, look at that. Trying to get a look at what that text says on the front. I believe that's a Caesar Palace. Is that what that says on there? I guess he's Caesar's. Oh, Caesar Sportsbook. A nice looking scheme there.
You know, I gotta ask Luke, did Caesar actually live there?
You know, Kevin, are you talking about Las Vegas?
No, I'm talking about the Caesar's Palace. A little bit of a hangover reference that might have flew over your head a little bit.
I got it now.
All right. Yeah.
Oh, a little bit of contact
How
here.
about Malik and Kyler getting a little loose with each other? I was just going to mention earlier that they've been running together, so that's something to pay attention to. They're going to keep it steady. They're going to settle back in, and I am going to mention that now, 8th and 9th place, that's a good look for Win and Ray as we approach 12 to go, led by Harper, actually.
We're getting kind of a backpack back here. It's going to be Michael Wingo leading off that backpack here. They're going to have about 2 cars up in the front here with a good little group, I think about 4 or 5 cars trailing on. Maybe they can get that group working together. Maybe they can catch up here. Just hope for another caution here because they are fading back, and they are fading back fast, almost 11 seconds back from that main.
Yeah, and you know, just unfortunate for them. But how about Daniel Falkingham retaking the lead tonight? He's been a dominant car here. I mean, he's got to be the car to beat. He's getting good pushes from Harper. They're right on top of each other.
I think we might see 3 wide here.
Yeah, and I think we will. And guess who's on that middle line, Luke? Oh, and they get stacked up, and Harper goes down. Stay down, Harper, and he comes back up safely. They're still shaking around a little. But all in all, that could have been a
crazy exchange.
But you know, when you see Malik and Kyler coming at you with that much speed, you got to do something, because if you don't, they're just going to run laps around this track all by themselves, and they're going to take the checker. Dominant cars. They've found their way back to the front. This is an interesting one now with Falkingham still in the lead. McCullough's still on that outside line looking good, and that's actually both the McCulloughs. They found each other again, and they are up front. That is a great look for them in MMS. And the inside line fading a little bit for Malik and Kyler, but they're, if I were them, I'd be content with where they are right now.
You know, it's hard not to be still staying up front here in these lead groups. Really representing MMS here.
Yeah, and we have a little, we have a Brambilla fan actually in our chat right now. Let's take a look at the onboard of the 23 car of Brambilla, as he's had a good run. He's seen the front a few times. You know, he's done what he had to do to keep himself out of it. This is actually, I think you took me to P23. I meant the 23 car. My apologies. That's gonna be Nash Brambilla. I might be pronouncing that wrong. Who knows? Probably Brambella. No one, way I pronounce these names wrong all the time, but yeah.
Really having to let off there.
Yeah, and a decent run for him. He's up 13 since his start, so just an impressive race for him so far. But he's about mid-pack right now, choosing his line, seeing what he can make happen. Anything can happen. As we are now approaching 9 to go here in Talladega, the McCulloughs in the lead. Bassinet's back up there. Win and Ray together, and Melton in the mix. That's a good look for a lot of these drivers.
There's that third line.
And they're getting a little testy, getting into each other a little bit more than you'd imagine, and Chris Melton's going to fade off of that maneuver. And how about Bassinet's coming down into a car? That might be a visual thing, and no,
it's going to be a wreck. Oh, no.
It's going to be a big wreck. He comes down. I'm not sure what happened there, but he's going to get into the one car of Maines.
Ooh.
And I think that's going to be about the nail in the coffin. Is that Maines in the one car? I can't tell, but
that is going to be Maines in the one car. Let's go ahead and take a look back here and take a look at what happened that led up to these events.
Yeah, Bassinet's on the high line. He comes down. I think just a little bit of a mistake. It happens twice. A little bit of a net code with Maines. But all in all,
looks like it stayed pretty selective. Only the 2 cars getting into it there. I think it's going to be Freddie Bassinez, and who else did we have there? Was that tough to tell who that was. Who else did we have involved in that wreck?
We had Maines in it, and
Maines as well. Unfortunate for him.
Wagner out there running some laps like I'd imagine he would. He clears it right between him. He shoots the gap. But that's gonna be our fifth caution. That's gonna take us all the way to about 6 to go. So this is when it gets interesting. We're gonna see some strategy here. Some cars are probably gonna stay out. I think they can stretch us to the end of the race. But I would imagine we are also gonna see some pits here. But it's gonna be interesting, Luke. Unfortunate for Maines. Baker's found his way back into the mix though. I know I was looking at both of those cars. Cody Niegels though found his way back to the front with that one.
You know, that's who I have my money on going into this one, Kevin. It's hard not to root for these MMS guys that gave us a good start to our broadcasting.
Yeah, and you know that's a good point by one
we're
of my
getting
viewers.
see we're getting read from the chat to go back to Freddie's in car on that wreck, and you know what?
Yeah,
I think we will. I think we will.
I think that's a good idea because you know just tough to say what happened to Freddie there. I don't know if it was just
We're gonna go ahead and slow it down here just a little bit. Oh, it appears we're gonna have a little bit of a wheel input delay here. I think as you see his wheel just completely snaps. We're actually gonna go back just a little bit. Watch that motion in his wheel right there. It's like it just completely just. Yeah, it looks like a little bit of input delay, and now, oh no.
some technical difficulties
Oh.
ending his dominant race. Just not what you want to see.
Really putting a thorn in the side for, I believe that was Maines as well, Garrett Maines. Boy, that is an unfortunate one. Have to get
I
a
would
little
like
bit of
to-
a read about what happens to that one after. We have to talk to Freddie Basnez and figure out what happened.
Yeah, and
that one.
I'd like to give a huge thanks to the viewer that pointed that out because that completely flew over us. We didn't really know what happened, but it's apparent that was
A little bit of an input delay, or a little bit of a technical error, maybe something going wrong with the wheel. I know those USB ports, man, they can be quite funky sometimes. I know
yeah,
I've
and you
had
know,
quite
Luke,
the issues
hopefully he's
with
not using the G29 because as a person that uses that myself, I don't think that can do you any favors in a race like that, like
piece
this.
of shit. I can second that one. A piece of shit.
No, some of these drivers are good enough to make it work with the G29 and wheels that are, far less I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but far worse wheels I've seen drivers use out here and still be leading laps because, the wheels don't drive the car, the driver does, but
Guess that unfortunately says a thing or two about our driving skills, but
all in all, I think the G29 is a great wheel for like
a little entry level into the sim setups.
getting on Forza and having a good time maybe.
Yeah.
But,
maybe Draft Master, maybe.
We can't talk too bad about it though.
Yeah.
We have them. I mean, that's our wheel. We gotta represent a little bit, I suppose. But
Sorry, we are gonna see a car go into the pits here. I think it's gonna be Hunter Hasting.
yeah, he's had some bad luck in this one. I know he's been involved a little bit in a couple.
Sorry, that's
of
gonna be
these
Ross
incidents.
Tate. Ross Tate entering the pits. Apologies.
Russ Tate, yeah, him as well. He was able to get back on the lead lap and pick up some time, and he's gonna stay on the lead lap, but he's gonna lose some positions with this one. Probably, that strategy we saw from him earlier, just not panning out, or it is panning out, and
We just don't know it yet. Who knows?
he might be happy with just being on the lead lap here in Talladega, but
With approaching
How about-
5 to go, you gotta wonder here, though. It's gonna start getting really testy here. I think that third line's gonna start really becoming apparent here as we approach 5 to go.
how about Kenny Real in P20? He had a lot of issues very early on in this race, but he's found his way back into the mix.
And he has back on the lead lap, back in P20. He's given himself a shot. It's just gonna be interesting to see what he does with that chance here. Not much time left to go. Starting back a decent bit in terms of positions. If you're in this car, Kevin, what are you looking to do to just give yourself a shot at a money position here, or a payout position?
Well, first of all, if I'm in this car, I'm feeling very confident because if you look good, you play good, and I think this might be my new favorite scheme. He's got the Jordan with the UNC colors, rocking the number 11. Maybe a little hint at a 2311, probably a fan, but overall, great looking car. I can't get over the Jordan scheme. I love those Jordan schemes. I know Reddick runs them a lot in NASCAR, but
Quite beautiful indeed.
To answer your question, though, I think he's put himself in a better position than a lot of drivers could. A lot of adversity early in this race as he was caught some wrecks that was unexpected. But he's back up there on the lead lap. Falkingham now he faded a little bit towards the end of that one, but I think the cars to look at here are the couple duos we see up front. We got the McCullows. We know they're fast together. We got Kyler and Malik.
Green.
They're up there and they're fast together. But guess who's back, Luke? That's Cody Neagles, and I know you were giving him some high praise earlier.
Well,
But we're actually
it's hard
green.
not to.
I got caught up talking about these schemes and everything, but we're green, and that's going to be led off by Kenny McCullough on the outside line and Kyler Wynn on the inside line. McCullough's pushing outside. The Kyler Malik duo on the inside, and we have 5 to go here at Talladega.
And a caution flag out already.
Wow, something had to have happened towards the back.
It's going to be Freddie Bassinez, it seems. Oh, no.
Let's
Be
take a
chasing
look.
it. Oh,
Oh, and
Freddie
he just gets
Bassinez
caught.
just can't catch a break tonight.
Yeah, and he was looking great early in this one. I mean, he was the car to beat, and back-to-back events now just not what you want to see for him. That's going to be about the nail in the coffin. Let's go back and see what happened. It happened right behind Kenny Reel, who we were just talking about.
Bit of an
Or right in
awkward,
front of, actually.
Oh, a bit of an awkward push by that number 11,
Yeah.
Kenny Reels, and just causes some misfortune to Freddie Bassinez. And I
He
believe that's
collects-
probably going to be his night over.
He collects Bassinez, but I think, is that the 62 card also gets a hold of? I'm not quite sure.
Well,
Take a
see
look
here
back
is-
at that. See who else is involved in that one. It's going to be, all in all, I think only 2 cars are going to... No, that's going to be 192. My apologies. That's going to be, it's going to be Michael Wingo. He's going to get into the wall, get into Bassinez, and that's going to be unfortunate for both of them.
Seems like that number
Yeah.
11, though, Kenny Reels is going to make it out of that one fairly unscathed. Kind of want to hop on an onboard here and just see his view of that whole thing and how those events transpired. I know that was quite the
Yeah, and I'm going to agree with the
interesting one.
viewer. It was a bad net code. I think Bassinez, about an inch away from clearing that thing, but unfortunate for him.
Oh, just a little bit of an unfortunate push there by
Got him on
Kenny
the corner
Reels.
a little bit. Kenny Reel's going to clear it, though, and he's going to still be in this race. As I think this is going to take us to an overtime, our first green and white checkered. Because, I don't know, we might not. I'm not quite sure. We have 4 to go, approaching 3. But, yeah, I'd assume we're going to have two laps of green flag racing to end this one regardless. As we're going to see some pits, but the majority of the field, want to stay out, keep their positions. McCullough's still up there, Malik and Kyler's still up there. Neagles, Jones, Eberhardt, who is back in the mix, Luke. I know he's got a fast car, and we're going to also see Eckert, Brambilla, and Melton in your top 10. I know we have a Brambilla fan in the chat, so that's a good sight to see him up there in P9 putting up good laps.
And we'd love to comment about how much we get to talk in between these cautions. As much as it does suck to see these happen, and that's going to be 6 in this race so far. I know that's definitely a couple more than I expected here tonight with the amount of talent of some of these drivers. But when you got this much money on the line, it's hard not to race with your heart out there. I know a lot of these drivers really putting it all on the line here, just trying to squeeze a little bit of money out of this race. Especially if they didn't make any money in that heat race. I know they're just itching to get some money back here.
Yeah, and it's a game of give and take because you can either ask for 50 laps of green flag racing and then it's going to be maybe not as exciting racing, some more maybe 2-line racing, not as many transfers, or you can ask for about 30 laps of green flag racing instead, but it's going to be 30 laps of everyone out there doing their best to make up these
Giving it their
positions
all.
and giving it their all out there. Yeah, so it could go either way based off what you want to see. I personally am a fan of the cautions. It mixes things up. We can see some cars that we don't usually see up in the mix. But the other side of that is some cars that usually would want to see up in the mix. Have some bad luck like Freddie Bassinez. But how about Daniel Falkingham? He's going to be restarting this one P14. which I'm sure he's familiar with, as that is his current point standing in the eNASCAR Coca-Cola Series. You think he can, make a shot at this one, get himself up into some money?
You know, if anyone here is going to have the potential to do it, I think it's going to be Daniel Falkingham. He's going to fall second in terms of our safety rating and just number, I think he actually is also going to fall in number 2 in our I rating standings here. It's going to be behind those Garrett Maines here, but I do not think he has had some very good luck, and yet he's going to be in the pits, unfortunately. Garrett Maines is going to be our highest ranked I rating driver out here. He's going to currently be in the pits. A little bit of an unfortunate night for him, but anyone here, our current favorites, odds to win here, it's going to be Daniel Falkingham, currently taking the cake here with almost an 8,000 I rating, and secondly followed by Malik Ray with almost a 7,700. Two very, very skilled drivers up here in that front mix, but a lot of other just not lesser known talent, but not quite as big a names here. We got Cody Niegels, both of the McCulloughs from the MMS League, representing out here, but a lot of really good talent here to start the last couple laps of this race. It's going to be an exciting one.
Yeah, and the I rating and the safety rating, it's a good starting point to look at the success of these drivers. But I think these money races are a different monster. I think these money races are a whole different driving style. You have a lot of these drivers that would do anything to get into the money, and I think that's just something you have to pay attention to if you're these drivers, because safety ratings be damned. These drivers are going to try to get into the top 5 here tonight.
Could not agree with you more, Kevin. It's going to be an exciting last 2 laps here, assuming we stay green, that is. But as the way things have went tonight, it's tough to say.
Yeah, and I agree. It's going to be an exciting one. I don't think there's going to be any shortage of action in these last 2 laps. I'm really hoping we can get through that first lap, though, and stay green under the white flag, because, as the pace car is actually going to come in here, we have 2 to go here at Talladega. And it's going to be the launch of Kenny McCullough, followed by Josh behind him, and then the outside line is going to be led by Kyler Wynn and Malik Ray, as we are rounding through the tri-oval to the Geico restart zone. It is Kenny's launch, and here he goes. Good launch for the inside line as they go up through the gears. 2 to go here at Talladega in the Roughnecks money race. Yeah, and they got mixed up a little bit. Kenny goes to that high side in front of Wynn. We've seen that all night. It's going to leave Josh a little bit, but that inside line is looking super fast. Cody Niegel's giving a good run. Good push to Joshua. But that outside line is going to be the line to beat. We're 2x2 all the way through. It's going to be that first line and that top line we've seen a lot tonight. And shooting 3 wide is going to be Kyler and Malik. They've done it multiple times tonight, that inside gap, but a great push by Jones on that outside line to keep McCullough out there. And how about Cody Niegels now taking the lead in this one? We're 4 wide going through the tri-oval.
McCullough's going to get stranded here.
The drop from McCullough, and we are on our last lap as the white flag is out. We're led by Cody Niegels right now. Eberhardt in second. He's made his way back to the front. The McCulloughs are just going to get stranded. They're gonna fall off. How about Niegels, though, on the inside, Eberhardt on the outside, Kyler Wynn pushing Cody Niegels. We're side by side on the backstretch for the last time tonight, and they're getting mixed up a little bit. They're pushing, they're shoving Niegels stranded a little bit. Kyler and Malik pushing their way in, and we're now led by the 90 of Daniel Eberhardt. Jones in second, Eckert in third.
And we got a crash.
Kyler and Malik, and we're crashing, but it doesn't matter. We're on the last lap. We're staying with our leaders. Eberhardt, Jones, Eckert, Wynn, and Ray are our top 5 right now, coming to the tri-oval for the last time. Eberhardt out in front. It just seems nobody has the speed to get around him. Eberhardt is going to be pushed by the 011 of Jones, and he's going to take it here. Eckert's going to get third. Malik and Kyler, they're going to get into the money, and that's going to be your top 5. Eberhardt, Jones, Eckert, Wynn, and Ray. And that's going to be unofficial, but it looks to be a great win for Daniel Eberhardt in the 90. I told you 30 laps ago that though he was near the mid-pack, he is the car to look at. He has been hot tonight, and he's going to take your win and the money tonight in the Roughnecks Series.
Man, oh man, what an exciting race and what an exciting finish to a very, very intense race we had out here tonight at Talladega Super Speedway. Daniel Eberhardt getting the win here, but also some big names following it up here. We got Dylan Jones, Ethan Eckerhart, Kyler Wynn, and Malik Ray. Really getting it done for their side of the organization. Not quite the finish I think we wanted for the McCulloughs here, finishing in P8 and P12 and P11 for Cody Neagles. Still a great finish nonetheless for MMS Racing, but man, what a win for Daniel Eberhardt.
Yeah, and how about that finish for Eckert too? He had some adversity earlier in this one. He got caught a little bit in one of those first two wrecks, but ever since then, I mean, he had the car to beat. He was working to get up there, and he did. He got up into the podium finish, and he's gonna take home some money. How about Jones though? We haven't talked about Jones nearly as much as we could have tonight. With It's gonna be Dylan C. Jones. He started in
P10.
P10. He's had a good run through and through. He's played some strategy. And yeah, let's take a look at that last lap wreck before we get our post race interviews in here tonight. If we get them in, I'm not quite sure what the plan is there, but yeah, I think we just had some wrecking in the back. A lot of those cars just got mixed up. As we go back and we take a look at it, they're all three wide trying to make something happen. We see Kenny there on the inside, we see Maines on the outside, we see Kenny Real on the outside. And just a huge push by the 5. And that's just going to stack them up. And that's going to collect a few of them. The inside line's going to clear it.
A bit of an understatement. I think that's going to collect many cars.
But yeah, they were all in a panic mode as, we were on our last lap and they were fading. So unfortunate for them, but you got to do what you got to do to try to make something happen. And those first 5 cars just were able to clear and get a lot of separation. As we see, your winner is going to be Daniel Eberhardt, and he's going to have a 0.3 of a second lead on Yeah, I don't know if that's right actually. I know they were tight. So it says he's got a 0.3 of a second lead on Jones, but
it's going to be a 0.05 gap ahead of Dylan C. Jones.
Oh, I see. I'm looking at it wrong. Okay, Eckert's going to be the 0.3 seconds back, and then Kyler and Malik, they had the strategy right, but they got shaken up a little bit on that 3 or 4 wide we saw on the back stretch, and they just couldn't get the speed to make any passes to get into the podium. But I'm sure they're going to be happy. They're in the money. They had a great race, both of them. And I think our first car we're going to get in here tonight is going to be... Let's try to get our P3 in here. It's going to be Ethan Eckert, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, let's get Ethan Eckert in here. He finished 3rd place. He had a great race. So I'm going to dial him up, and we're going to get him in here now for a Ninth Gear Broadcasting post-race interview. Ethan, guys in the booth, you got a read on me?
Yeah, I got you. How you doing?
Good, how you doing? I mean, that was a great race, great finish. You were able to get yourself into that podium position there at the end as things shook up. I mean, wrecking behind you. But overall, I mean, you had a little bit of problems early on getting into... A car got into you on one of those cautions, but it was forward from there. It was an uphill climb, but you were able to climb it. How did you get yourself into a podium finish tonight?
To be completely honest with you, I just kind of went with the run and tried to... I don't know. I just went with the run, kept it up front as much as I could, and just tried to stay on the top because that was where you wanted to be. If you had people that knew what they were doing and you could trust.
Yeah, it was a great finish. It was a great run. You were able to keep yourself in the top 5, top 10 for the majority of this one, I think. But are you a fan of the? I think we saw 6 cautions tonight. Are you a fan of the? The caution racing, a lot of mix-ups, a lot of incidents, but would you rather see that or would you rather see 50 laps of green is what I'm trying to get at?
Oh, 50 laps of green for sure. I mean, who wants to go and pace for 20 of the laps? I mean, I know us drivers don't want to. It's not fun at all. I mean, this whole race wasn't that fun with the new draft package that they just put in the game for the next gen. So it was already not the best, but the cautions and no green flag pit stops just... It didn't help out at all.
Yeah, I gotta agree. But us up in the booth, we love seeing that 3-4 wide racing. If incidents follow, incidents follow. But yeah, the green lap racing. we had what about 30 tonight. It was action packed. So I'd like to thank you for that the show that you guys put on tonight and congratulate you on the top 3 finish. If you'd like to give some shout outs.
Yeah, shout out to Cody Nagels, Arrest Nightmare, Freddie Bassnez, you guys for broadcasting it, Wagner for putting it back up, for putting us on Wednesdays. It's a ton of fun. That's it.
All right, thank you, Ethan, and congratulations on the P3 finish.
Thank you.
All right, and next I think we're gonna try to get. I'm not sure if Dylan Jones. Dylan Jones is over, waiting in the interview room, and I would like to get a hold of him because that was a great finish for him. I know he's seen all sorts of the field tonight, so we're gonna see what we can squeeze out of him as he got a P2 finish. Hey Dylan, guys in the booth, can you hear me?
I sure do.
All right, that was a great finish to a great race for you. You know, you saw all sides of that field. You know, you ran up front, you ran some in the back. You probably saw every car out there. How do you think about that race? And how do you think about that finish?
I think it was a great finish. I think it probably was pretty exciting. I mean, these cars always put on a crazy show. They're a little bit different now with the new package. Everyone's trying to figure out what you need to do to race them. They didn't change much, but it's enough that it can really mess with things. But I thought it was a good race. I definitely seen the front and the back, and we finished at the front, so that's what matters.
Yeah, it was a great race. That P2 finish. You know, not much more you can ask for except maybe the checker flag. But you got in the money. You came and you did what you had to do. Um, is there anything else you'd like to add on to that finish? You know, I mean, you said it was probably an exciting finish, and let me tell you, it was an exciting finish. We got the show that we came here for. So, you know, that top 5. You know, a couple cars faded off, but overall, I mean, anything you'd like to add on to that one?
Yeah, I mean, they all got jumbled up, and I'll take second. You worry about making a move. As soon as you side draft somebody, you really kill your speed. You don't want to lose spots. But no, I had fun. Give a big thank you to you guys at Ninth Gear, all the guys at PGR, at R&R here, James Wagner Welding. Just a fun night.
Yeah, and I'd like to thank you again, and once again, congratulations, Dylan.
Thank you.
That's Dylan Jones, your second place finisher, and I think now we're gonna get with our race winner, Daniel Eberhardt III in the 90 car. I mean, just a dominant performance by him. He led many laps, Luke. You know, it was a great race for him, so we're gonna dial him up and get him in here.
Yeah, it truly was an
Sure.
exciting finish by Daniel Eberhardt.
Yeah, I'm sure he's ecstatic with how things played out there at the end. Hey, Daniel, guys in the booth, can you read me?
Yes, sir.
I mean, what a finish! What a race! You were leading laps all race. You really dominated this one, and you were able to take home the checkered. What do you think about that race, and what do you think about that finish?
Oh yeah, just insane. Kind of over the next gen guard for a little while because it's not realistic of what we see in real life racing. Maybe iRacing will get it right and work a little bit harder on the oval side than they do the road course side. But yeah, all in all, I had Dylan behind me. I had Cody in front of me. I messaged Cody and said I'll work with him, even though we got a little bickering match that goes on all the time. But hey, long as Malik and Kyler finish behind me, that's all that matters. Because
Oh,
I just can't stand them. I just can't stand them. I wish every time I see them on the track, I'm fuming. So,
little post race fire going on. It seems.
Yeah, and you know, I think everybody finished behind you tonight, and I think you got to be proud with that finish. I know a lot of the drivers have talked about that new package with the next gen cars. What do you think of it?
it's very weird how Talladega ran so much different than Daytona. It's like the parameters of the drafting package at Talladega are way different than the ones at Daytona, and it's just insane the difference they were. You don't get the big runs like you do at Daytona, but we did on that last restart get rolling good, and then Joshua like made a move to the middle, and he just got screwed. I don't know why he went up like that, but hey, it helped me and Cody. Then Cody got clear, and I got clear, and then Cody dropped down. And if he wouldn't have got put 3 wide on the bottom, he would have probably been up there in front of me coming around to turn 4. So I don't know. This car just has too many team names and games or whatever you want to call it. Just Crazy racing the whole time.
Yeah, and I got one more question before we get you out of here. Did you expect a move by Dylan Jones there at the end? He finished less than a tenth of a second behind you. He was right on your bumper. And it seemed you guys just, you went single file through the tri-oval and got the 1 and 2.
No, he wasn't gonna make a move. He's been my 14-year friend on here, dude.
I got you.
I've known him forever, so he wasn't making no move.
All right, so some celebration and to be expected from the two of you tonight. So once again, congratulations. Any shout outs you'd like to give?
Yeah, thank y'all for coming on. Y'all do a fantastic broadcast for just starting out. Pretty awesome. Keep up the good work. Thank you to James Wagner for putting it on too, dude. Just a amazing little series they got going on here. Thank you to PGR for coming and helping out. Just a great race all around, and maybe we'll be back next week.
All right, thanks once again, and congratulations on the race win, Daniel Everhart.
Thank you.
And look, I think we're gonna get one more interview in here tonight. I noticed hopping into the interview room is Freddie Basson, as I would like to talk with him. He had a great run, he had a great race, and then some unfortunate events happened around the, laps 40. We saw back-to-back cautions that he was involved in. So I'm going to get him in here and see what he has to say on those cautions and just, the overall race. Hey, Freddie, guys in the booth, you read me?
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, man, it was a great race. It seemed, towards the end, things started to kind of unfold. A couple cautions didn't go your way, but overall, you were leading laps. You were up front. We saw that scheme we couldn't stop talking about, really bright. So we were just wondering, what happened there towards the end, and how did that go?
Well, yeah, first off, about the scheme, thanks to Evan Carbon for making that. Anyways, about the race, yeah, I was up front for most of it, and then my wheel just disconnected, and then and iRacing, it was all the way to the left, and then I just turned down the track. I don't know if I definitely did kill somebody, so my bad to whoever that was. Did not mean to do it. Then after that, I had about 5 minutes of damage, and I went to pit road, got it down to about 3:30. Then coming out of 2 on the first lap, I get net coded into Michael Wingo, and then from there I had 9 minutes of damage, and I just couldn't do anything. Just had to avoid wrecks.
Yeah, it just seemed like it was bad luck after bad luck. The net code with Wingo, I mean, that was just barely got a hold of you, and really unfortunate to see the wheel have some technical difficulties. What would have otherwise been a great race for you. So, it happens. I don't think you took out. I think you might have collected one car with the wheel issue, but I don't think it was too big of an issue overall. And one more question I'd like to ask: what do you think of the new next gen package you guys were running tonight at Talladega?
Okay, so at Daytona it's great. Here at Talladega, me personally, not a fan. It just feels sluggish. That you can't make runs. Me personally, I don't like it. But at Daytona, it's amazing at Daytona. It's great at Daytona. Just here at Talladega, I don't like it.
Yeah, that seems to be the answer we keep hearing. So, not great at Talladega, but maybe other laps or maybe other tracks it's a little bit better. But thanks for the interview. Unfortunate, but overall, a good run. Got to lead up in the front for some laps. Any shout outs you'd like to give before we get rid of you?
Shout out to my teammates at Nightmare Esports. They're always helping me out, so shout out to them. Thanks all the people at R&R for putting on the show. Thanks to you guys, Luke and Kevin up in the booth broadcasting. And yeah, that's it.
All right, once again, thanks, Freddie, and congratulations on the, overall good race.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate you, Freddie.
And that's going to do it for our interviews. We got 4 of them in, some happy drivers, some not so happy drivers. It was a good race, Luke. Any final thoughts?
It was just one exciting race here. Just, I'm a sucker for the cautions. I'm a sucker for the intense racing. It's hard not to be. As much as the drivers did seem to kind of have some mixed emotions about the cautions that happened tonight, they seem to also be a little bit more in depth into what happened with the newest iRacing update. It seems it might have changed how these next gen cars perform here on these different tracks. A lot of mixed emotions. Any thoughts from you on that one, Kevin?
Yeah, I heard about the new package on these next gen cars. Everyone's still getting used to it as it is new. I think, a lot of these drivers do like it on Daytona, but I'm not sure it's it's a fan favorite on Talladega because you could kind of tell out there some of these drivers were trying to get used to it, trying to see what lines worked, and just a lot of them weren't. But overall, a great race. I'd like to thank James Wagner Welding. I'd like to thank Roughnecks Racing for having us. You know, just a great series. I mean, we had a blast tonight between the heat races and the main event, so I'd like to thank them. And then I'd also like to announce that we will be broadcasting tonight, or not tonight, Saturday night and Sunday night. Both of those are going to be Daytona races, one truck and one next gen. So I'm excited to, you know,
Changing the
announce
track a
that.
little bit.
Yeah, I'm sure we're gonna be, just on top of the world, ecstatic on Sunday night when we get with you after, getting to see the real Daytona race in the NASCAR Cup Series.
Oh boy,
But
that's gonna be exciting.
overall, we got an exciting week coming up. If any of the viewers want to come by, we'll announce the times on that one shortly, get some schedules going. But once again, just thanks to everybody for having us. Thanks to the drivers for putting on a show, and this has been a fun one, Luke.
I think before we head off here, I'm going to go and thank all of our sponsors here. Looks like we got North Star Fire Protection LLC, James Wagner Welding. Looks like it's also going to be sponsored by PGR Esports, Roughneck Racing. And I want to thank you all truly for coming out to this one. It's been an exciting one, almost 2 hours of a broadcast here. Some very exciting racing, and I know we are really looking forward to these races we got coming up this weekend, and we hope we'll see you all there. And this has been Ninth Gear Racing, and I guess we will see you all in the next race. Take care, race fans.